I'm Mikla Singh. I got my bachelor's and master's degree at Dowling College. My experience at Dowling really prepared me for a career in education.
My name is Blair McDonald, and I'm a psychology and biology major. Dowling's changed my life because it's such an engaging school. Dowling made me who I am.
I'm Frank Atronio. I'm the director of aviation. A student would come to Dowling College looking for a flight school that has instructors that care about them.
I'm Dowling.
I'm Dowling.
I'm Dowling.
You can be Dowling too. Call 1-800-DOWLING today.
Because man can't live on freshly baked croissants and bagels alone.
The Inn at Great Neck. Plan to hold your next business event in the perfect location for 5 to 200 guests. The Inn at Great Neck. Spacious ballrooms, conference rooms, and business center are complemented by the finest cuisine and exquisite service and amenities. The Inn at Great Neck. Luxurious guest rooms with complimentary high-speed internet access, concierge services, and an exercise facility. Call 516-773-2000 to make an appointment. The Inn at Great Neck. Expect to exceed your expectations.
Because man can't live on freshly baked croissants and bagels alone.
Wait a minute. This thing doesn't drive like an SUV.
Yeah, where's the floatiness?
Strange, but I actually feel like I'm in control. You know, this thing actually handles really well.
The all-wheel drive BMW X3 with xDrive. It's not what you'd expect from an SUV. It's everything you'd expect from a BMW. Stop by your BMW Center for a test drive today. Lease the BMW X3 2.5i for $299 a month, only through September 3rd.
News 12 Long Island is brought to you in part by Champion Mortgage. Don't miss out on refinancing with the lowest rates in decades. Call 1-800-CHAMPION today.
This is News 12 Long Island.
In Haiti, this is unbelievable. More than 1,000 people are dead, 1,000 more unaccounted for in the wake of Tropical Storm Jean. United Nations trucks are struggling to cross flooded roads in an attempt to bring aid to areas destroyed by this storm over the weekend. Officials say some 250,000 people have been left homeless.
You worry about these, Category 4 storms coming, and this is a tropical storm.
I know
the devastation on these islands.
Appreciate the fury of a hurricane, especially people who have not been in hurricanes. We haven't had a major hurricane on Long Island, well, since Gloria in '85. But that was only a Category 1.
Exactly.
Back in '38, we had a tremendous disaster with the hurricane, which was a Category 3 with 50 people having died in that storm. Yesterday was the anniversary of that storm on the 21st of September. Right now we have 4 named storms in the tropics. Will just move right along. Ivan has regenerated, then Jean, which could be a threat to the eastern coast of the United States, Carl and Lisa, and we'll move right along. What a system. Across our area, we have just some clear sky and temperatures on the seasonably mild side. Clear sky, a comfortable night. Temperatures running 57 to 64 degrees with a northwest wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Headed out in the morning, well, we'll have sunny skies. Sunrise at 6:41. Temperature running in the 60s. The winds moderate and the roads dry. For the mariners, no advisories posted on our waters with a north wind at 7 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 3 feet on the ocean, about a foot on the sound. Excellent visibility on our local waters, and water temperature running about 66 degrees for Thursday. Another nice looking day. Maybe temperatures about 1 or 2 degrees cooler than they were on Wednesday. Temperatures mostly in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. And if you live on Cove Edge Road in Oyster Bay Cove, you'll have a high temperature of 77 degrees. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday, another nice day. And autumn, that's the season you go from lovely to shovelly. That 7-day forecast, there it is. Some nice weather. The weekend looks dry, although Saturday, a weak front will move through, giving us a couple of clouds, maybe a sprinkle, but it looks like it'll be pretty dry. And then Monday looking good. And then we're watching Jean for late Tuesday into Wednesday. The forecast is uncertain at this point, but we are tracking that. Colleen, Lee?
Okay, thank you very much, Norm. Well, here's a tricky situation. What happens if your shot goes way off course and ends up on the pavement? News 12 Long Island, Scott Feldman and club professional Joe Laurentino show you how to handle it in this week's Tee to Green report.
Joe, not a bad tee shot. The only problem is I'm not in the fairway. I'm right in the middle of the road, and actually my ball's landed just a little bit more to the right side of the road. What kind of options do I have here?
Well, Scott, your first option is you can play it right from there if you wanted to.
Ooh, ruin my club? No.
Okay. The other options you have, Scott, is you have to find the nearest point of relief, and there's only one nearest point of relief. A nearest point of relief is also defined by an area where you could stand, where your stance, your swing, and the ball are no longer interfered by the obstruction itself. So why don't we come over here first, Scott, to the right side of the path, and we're trying to find a spot that's no closer to the hole, which is probably about in this area here, Scott, and take your stance.
Okay.
Okay, so we would mark this area as no closer to the hole. That's your nearest point of relief. Okay, now let's go to the other side, Scott. And because you're a right-handed golfer, you'll see the difference in this.
Right.
You're probably going to have to come back a little bit further because the hole's in this direction, right? And that's kind of your point where you could take your stance and swing.
How far from the ball, though?
Well, this is the difference now. The difference is the difference between here and this point and this point and that point. This point's actually closer because on this side of the path, you have to take your stance and the club becomes the nearest point of relief, where on this side of the path, it's only the golf club technically. And then we'd mark that point. From there, you then would take one club length from that point, from the nearest point of relief, and you would be able to drop within that one club length, of course, no closer to the hole.
All right, and let's hope I get this shot on the green. Thanks, Joe. At Indian Hills Country Club in Northport, Scott Feldman, News 12 Long Island.
And if you would like to check out some other tips that could help your game, log on to news12.com and go to numbers and links.
Just pick up the ball and throw it.
It works.
Still ahead in sports, it was history in the making tonight at Citibank Park.
That's right, it was the first home playoff game for the Ducks. Jamie Stewart tells us how they did. Coming up next on News 12 Long Island, as local news gets.
News 12 Long Island's golf coverage is brought to you by Competition Imports, member of the Competition Automotive Group, serving Long Island since 1962.
At Competition Imports of Smithtown, the turn of your key starts more than your Mercedes-Benz. It starts a winning relationship. From our luxurious showroom to our dedicated team of professionals, Competition Imports of Smithtown makes purchasing or leasing a new or Star Mark certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz easier and more affordable than ever. At Competition Imports of Smithtown, our reputation is our bottom line. So call, click, or come in. Competition Imports of Smithtown on East Jericho Turnpike.
Remember how terrible the snow was last winter? This year, be prepared for snow and ice storms by calling RBR and Melville Snow Contractors for your commercial snow removal needs. Since 1975, we've serviced local businesses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Unlike smaller companies, we're 100% insured. And since snow removal is our only business, we offer services our competitors can't, like guaranteed payloaders for blizzard conditions. RBR and Melville are Long Island's major distributors of Henniker plows and sanders. Call now. Find out how our business can keep you in business this winter.
If you used hairspray between 1958 and 1974, you were exposed to a cancer-causing chemical. Now, years later, you've been diagnosed with liver cancer, cirrhosis of the liver, brain cancer, angiosarcoma, soft tissue sarcoma. Understand, you have rights and may be entitled to a large cash settlement. Call 1-877-RIGHTS-4. That's 1-877-RIGHTS and the number 4 for you or someone you love.
Eastwind Caterers, where fairy tales come true.
This is the one sales event you've been waiting for. The Ford Authorized Clearance. The one chance to get the best deals on the best-selling line of SUVs on the planet. Like the legendary Ford Explorer. Smoother riding and more powerful. Now only $289 a month. That's $289 a month for a well-equipped Explorer XLT 4x4 with just $559 down. This is the one sales event you don't want to miss. The Ford Authorized Clearance. This is the one.
News 12 Long Island is brought to you in part by Newsday. Read Newsday every day to find places to go and things to do, plus local news you won't find anywhere else. Read Newsday every day.
All right, J.B. Stewart's here. I've been waiting to hear.
Yeah?
What happened tonight?
Come on, come on.
It was close.
Yeah. Oh.
It was a one-run game.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
A historic night at Citibank Park, but would the fans leave happy? The Ducks needing a win to stay alive in Game 2 of their playoff series with Nashua. And if the Ducks needed inspiration, here's the Nathan's famous hot dog race. I ran in this once, but didn't run into McFoley. The Ward Melville grad, all business tonight. Unbelievable. Game was tied at 1 in the fourth. One Duck on the pond, not anymore. Kevin Baez, RBI single. Plates Matt Garrick. Ducks take a 2-1 lead. They would add one more on a sac fly. Bill Pulsifer on his game. Pulse going 6 1/3, allowing 2 runs. Top 9 now. Nashua down 3-2. The fans are into it. Ducks closer Bill Seamus slams the door. Ducks win 3-2. They force a deciding Game 3 tomorrow night. News 12 Long Island's Michael Coleman has more.
Jamie, the Ducks came in with their backs literally against the wall. They had to win tonight's game so they could force a game number 3 in their first ever postseason playoff situation. So now they've done it. They've evened the series at 1-1. And you know what? Just when you thought they would come in here being uptight, that was hardly the case.
I've played in the playoffs quite a few times in my career, and I consider myself one of the team leaders. I think the team considers me that too, and I think that they relied on me tonight, and I wanted to be the guy for them to rely on.
We had Pulse on the mound, like we said earlier. That's the guy we wanted. We need to make the plays for him. We let a couple go today. We're lucky to come out on the winning side. Tomorrow we got to tighten it up a little bit. Play some good, solid defense. Get some big hits when we need to, and we have Lance on the mound too. It's another guy that we love having there.
Now, I asked McCormick which game was closer, last night's 3-2 loss or tonight's 3-2 win. He said last night's 3-2 loss was a much closer ball game than tonight's ball game. It's going to be a very interesting ball game tomorrow night. If they win tomorrow night against Nashua, of course, not only do they win the divisional series, but the championship series, the first 2 games will be played right here at Citibank Park. So tomorrow night, the Ducks will have Lance Davis on the mound, fresh from the Yankees organization. And when you think about it, some of those guys came back just in nick of time. Reporting from Citibank Park, Michael Coleman, News 12 Sports.
It's getting hot in here. Ducks fever is spreading. Yeah. Well, from Citibank Park to Yankee Stadium we go. El Duque on the mound as the Yanks hosted the Jays. Duque undefeated this season, and this helps. 1 on, 1 off. Bernie Williams, first inning homer, 2-run shot. Yanks lead 2-0. But the Jays would come back, down 3-2 in the 7th. 2 on, Vernon Wells connects, take Duque's pitch to right center. Gary Sheffield can't get it, 2-run score, 4-3 Toronto. They would take a 5-3 lead. Yanks cut it to 5-4 in the 8th. Man on second, 2 outs. John Olerud cannot get it done. Duque finally loses. Bombers fall 5-4. Battle to avoid last place in Montreal. Mets 1 game ahead of the Expos. Gerald Williams, the fly ball. Ryan Church running. Doesn't have a prayer. Steve Traxel scores. Mets take a 2-0 lead. The Expos would tie it, but Mike Piazza wins it in the 8th. The flare drops in. Williams scores. Mets win. How about that? 3-2. Local soccer, Nassau Community College a winner, as was the North Shore High School girls team. Finally, the worm is inching closer. Dennis Rodman, last seen in the NBA during the 99-2000 season, practiced at the Denver Nuggets facility today. Rodman played a full-court game after his agent asked the Nuggets if he could attend. Rodman is 43. Stay tuned to that.
That's right. He said he was coming back.
The older athletes, though, they keep in such great shape. I wouldn't put it past Rodman to make it.
Especially Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Don't put nothing past him.
At least make it interesting.
He always keeps it interesting.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Well, it seems that man's best friend can learn how to do a lot of things their owners do. Meet Joey, the Jack Russell Terrier. He's learned to ride a skateboard. He can even drive a little electric car. And if you can barely get your pooch to sit and stay, don't feel too bad. Joey has an advantage. His owner, here you go, is a professional dog trainer. Not fair. Many of her dogs have appeared in Hollywood movies. Yeah, I get Baxter to sit.
I can't even.
Yeah, that's about it.
My dog won't.
But that's about it. We
You
need
could
help with a
even ride
professional
bad,
dog.
You
Lady.
could ride a motorcycle.
There you go.
Wow.
A motorcycle. Good, Norm.
Okay.
Doggone. Well, thanks for watching News 12 Long Island. I'm Colleen McVey.
I'm Lee Tyrell. More news straight ahead for you. Stay with us.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
The Ab Lounge, scientifically designed to get you up off the floor, making old-fashioned crunches a thing of the past.
Sculpt your abdominals using the Ab Lounge Jackknife, proven in university testing to be better for your body.
It's as easy as a crunch, but the Ab Lounge design makes every move really count, targeting your abs without wasted effort.
Compare the Ab Lounge to an old-fashioned crunch. The advanced Ab Lounge Jackknife generates up to 75% more muscle activity in the upper and lower abdominals, and an amazing 268% more in the love handle obliques.
I have this one pair of jeans. After just 8 weeks, my fat jeans don't really fit anymore.
With its rolled steel frame, the Ab Lounge supports up to 275 pounds.
And it's so easy, almost anyone can use it.
Call now to try the Ab Lounge for 30 days for just $14.95. If you don't agree the Ab Lounge is the best way to a sexy stomach, return it within 30 days for a refund of your $14.95.
Call now and say goodbye to crunches forever.
Now you can skip retail and buy almost anything for your home direct at insider prices, just like the stores do.
We saved approximately $5,000.
$6,000–7,000.
We saved 30 grand. We have saved about $65,000 on cabinets for our house.
How is this possible? How can you buy like the stores do? It's simple with Direct Buy, America's #1 way to buy direct for your home. It's an entirely new way to buy home furnishing, cabinetry, carpeting, lighting, bathroom fixtures, appliances, electronics, just about everything and anything for your home, all available at confidential insider prices.
Direct Buy is a private, members-only showroom and design center. Direct Buy members have stopped losing the money you pay in retail markups.
Join the insiders who are already enjoying the many benefits of buying direct.
Call the number on your screen now to receive your free information sheet along with a free visitor's pass to attend an upcoming open house tour of the Direct Buy showroom.
Oh my gosh, that plane's not going to make it. It's going to crash.
And it did, a crash landing right in the middle of a South Shore neighborhood. We'll show you what happened and the miraculous outcome.
An innocent bystander caught in the crossfire. We'll bring you the latest on the gang shootout in Uniondale.
And the island is burning up with Ducks fever. We'll take you to the park and see what fans think about the team's first ever playoff series.
We'll have those stories plus Norm DeVoskin's 7-day forecast.
It's all up next on News 12 Long Island.
This is News 12 Long Island, as local news gets. Now, the night edition.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Colleen McVey.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Lee Tyrell. It seemed like the sky was falling for people in one Bayport neighborhood.
A biplane came crashing down through some power lines into a house. It happened this afternoon on Bayport Avenue. It gave everyone there a scare. News 12 Long Island's Christine Nsinga is in Bayport with more on the crash and its miraculous outcome. Christine.
Good evening, Colleen. Well, the cleanup process well underway right now. If you could see behind me, crews coming in just a short time ago, now attempting to work on some downed power lines. And just a few moments ago, they carted away most of what was left of the plane that crashed into the house here this afternoon. And the miraculous part, as you said about this, no one here seriously injured. However, some folks around here say it was one man's second close encounter with death in just 3 years.
I looked up and I saw the trees. I saw the plane right over the trees. And I was like, oh my gosh, that plane's not going to make it.
Kathy Collins was right. Just after 4:30 Wednesday afternoon, this Boeing CT-17 sliced off the top of this telephone pole before slamming into the home of Artie and Gail Herlihy here on Bayport Avenue as neighbors watched in horror.
She was in the house, and her son was outside working when this happened. She heard her son screaming her name, and she came to the door, and he just said, "Get out, get out, get out."
The 1943 plane is now nothing but twisted steel, aluminum, and wood. And the home the Herlihys have been tirelessly trying to fix up since moving in just 5 months ago, significantly damaged. But miraculously, no one was seriously hurt. The homeowners were too devastated to speak on camera, but police say the son has faced death before. He's a New York City fireman and September 11th survivor.
and I'm sure that he didn't need another disaster.
Sergeant John Johnson says the plane just took off from the Bayport Aerodrome about 3 blocks away when it lost power.
The FAA will continue investigation. We don't know whether it ran out of fuel or had engine problems.
Now, the pilot and passenger, we are told, were taken to Stony Brook University Medical Center, where they were treated for minor injuries and released. In Bayport tonight, Christina Nsinga, News 12, Long Island. Colleen and Lee.
Amazing. No one was hurt. Christina, thank you. Some scary moments for some people in Uniondale. Bullets started flying, and when the smoke cleared, one teen had been shot in the chest. As News 12 Long Island's Andrew Enger reports, the victim may have been caught in the crossfire of a gang war.
Yeah, it could have been anybody. Could have been me, my brother, anybody, my friends, anybody.
Uniondale High School kids walking a little faster to and from school today. This after a classmate was shot just a quarter mile from his school. Cops say there was a possible gang-related altercation between 3 black teens with guns Tuesday at the intersection of Armand and Goodrich Street in Uniondale. Several shots were fired, but one random bullet traveled 700 feet down Goodrich and struck an unidentified teen in the chest right as classes were done for the day. So far, however, detectives have not been able to locate the shooters.
The first squad is speaking to people. We are getting leads, and we are following those leads up.
Witnesses say they heard 5 or 6 shots whizzing down Goodrich Street, right past 2 busy daycare centers, one where a car was dropping off kids for the afternoon, right as the shots rang out.
She just laid everybody down on the ground, and she waited till she stopped hearing all the noise. She said she heard about 6 shots or so. She thought it was firecrackers.
But those definitely weren't fireworks that were heard around this house Tuesday afternoon. Luckily, folks who live around here say no one else was hurt, but cops say that teen is lucky to be alive. In Uniondale, Andrew Enger, News 12, Long Island.
And police say the teen who was shot in the chest is in critical but stable condition tonight at Nassau University Medical Center.
Well, a gang attack in Freeport sent 2 teens to the hospital with head injuries. The 16 and 17-year-olds were beaten with baseball bats by 4 men near Merrick Road and Long Beach Avenue. Police say the attackers may have been members of the Latin Kings gang, and the victims are believed to be members of the rival MS-13 gang. The suspects drove away in a blue Honda Civic.
Police have new information about 2 people found murdered less than 2 hours apart in Nassau County. They've identified the young woman found murdered in Old Westbury as Isabella Olivia Mendoza. She was shot in the head. Police tell us she was a chronic runaway with connections to the gang MS-13. Meanwhile, homicide detectives are still trying to identify the body of a man found yesterday near a Bethpage sump.
It appears the individual was shot at least twice and as many as 5 times. And that, in addition to the shooting, he was also stabbed a number of times.
Now, police are putting out this picture of a tattoo found on the man's shoulder. They're hoping someone will recognize it and call them to help identify the victim.
A former priest who is a convicted sex offender does not have to make his home address public. Well, that's something the Suffolk DA wants to see changed. News 12 Long Island senior correspondent Drew Scott has more.
Former parish priest Michael Hands has admitted repeatedly victimizing a 13-year-old boy under his care at St. Raphael's Church in East Meadow and served a jail term in Nassau County. But because of a loophole in the state sex offenders registry, the convicted pedophile priest does not have to reveal his home address to concerned parents.
On Michael Hands, the only thing people in this community have been able to find out is that he's there, but nobody knows exactly where. And that's really not fair to the community, and it's not fair to the victim in this case.
That's because the convicted sex offender was assigned by a judge in Nassau County earlier this year to only a Level 2 status, requiring he register with police and place his name on a statewide website. But it does not require police to warn parents with children where he is living. Suffolk Assistant DA James Cudden says while the case was adjourned today, he will ask a judge to tighten the restrictions on Hands to the highest supervision Level 3.
Suffolk County District Attorney believes that this individual is a sufficient risk to merit him being a Level 3 sex offender.
Dragging this out victimizes the victim again and the community as well.
The next hearing has been scheduled for October 26th here in Riverhead. The attorney for Father Hands says that he scheduled a detective as well as a psychiatrist in the case. In Riverhead Criminal Court, Drew Scott, News 12, Long Island.
The group, Parents for Megan's Law, wants state lawmakers to require all convicted sex offenders to make their home addresses public.
The man behind the insurance scandal that cost Nassau taxpayers $70 million will have to spend more than 7 years in prison. Today, Albert Isernio was sentenced to 87 months behind bars. His company, Benefit Plan Administrators, was supposed to save Nassau millions of dollars by managing the county's health insurance plan. But prosecutors say he used the company to illegally put millions in his own pocket. Meanwhile, Computer Associates has reached a settlement with the government to avoid prosecution in a massive accounting scandal. The Islandia-based software giant has agreed to pay a $225 million fine, and it will have an independent monitor oversee the company for at least 18 months. In exchange, the feds have promised to defer criminal prosecution while the company tries to prove that it's no longer violating any laws.
Certainly, CA takes responsibility for wrongdoing that occurred at CA. Certain members of management engaged in improper activities.
And as the software maker entered into the agreement, the feds announced that 2 of the company's former top executives had been indicted. We'll have more on that in our second half hour.
It's been a night to remember in Central Islip. Ducks fans lined up early outside Citibank Park, and when the gates opened, thousands of them streamed into the stadium to see their team in the playoffs for the very first time.
I'm pretty proud of them. You know, we watched them since the first season, and you know, it's been a long time now, so it's first time now. I'm pretty proud of them.
And we'll show you how the Ducks fared in the second half hour. We'll have a report from Citibank Park with all the results.
And the weather does not get any better for September baseball than this. It's time for a quick check on our weather with meteorologist Norm DeVoskin.
He's standing by at the map. Norm?
Well, we're in fair territory, as the Ducks have been, and we're having a tropical carnival right now. 4 male storms and 2 male storms and 2 female storms. And you thought Ivan was weather history? Well, it's back in the Gulf of Mexico. It has regenerated after heading south, moved across southern Florida, and is now a tropical storm with winds of 40 miles an hour and 5 to 10 inches of rain. We also have Jean, winds of 100 miles an hour, starting to make a turn to the west and then up to the north, could affect the U.S. mainland by Monday. It's a powerful storm, well defined. We have Carl way out in the Atlantic, moving away from any land area, winds of 105 miles an hour, and Lisa, just combining with a low pressure system, has winds of 50 miles an hour moving to the west. A lot of stuff going on while we have very, very tranquil weather. There's the rain from Ivan now moving into the Mississippi Delta. Look at the eastern portion of the country, nothing at all. High pressure just sitting across Pennsylvania, Ohio, New England, New York State. Really just beautiful weather. On Wednesday, Walter Dibbins at Massapequa reported a high temperature of 84 degrees, normal high temperature, 73 degrees. Very, very nice weather. For tonight, clear sky, comfortable, temperatures running 57 to 64 degrees with a northwest wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. If you're headed down to the shore, well, here's times of high tide, roughly around sunrise on the north shore, a couple hours after midnight on the south shore. The 7-day forecast coming up in a short while. Colleen, Lee.
All right, Norm, thank you very much. You know the saying, out with the old and in with the new. When we return, what's more important, some old trees or building a new library? We'll tell you how the issue is dividing one Nassau community.
And some of the island's most exclusive golf clubs decide to go green. We'll tell you about their deal to help the environment.
And how can you make sure your school district or local politician isn't hiding anything? It's easier than you think. We'll show you how it's done next on News 12 Long Island.
News 12 Long Island is brought to you in part by PC Richard & Son, the appliance, electronics, and computer giant.
Now's the time to add that sunroom you've been wanting for so long. Call Calendar Products and Enclosures today. We're not a distributor, we're the manufacturer, which means 30 to 50% savings.
There are so many features and exclusive designs to choose from, and no more expensive heating and cooling bills.
It's a 4-season room, so we could use it in the winter, the summer, spring, and fall, and it's just magnificent. It opens up your entire home.
Exclusively designed and insulated year-round enclosures. 3-season enclosures available too. We use only heavy vinyl windows, not inferior aluminum. Expand now and enjoy outdoor living without harsh sun, rain, or insects.
It's like bringing the outdoors inside. We get to relax and entertain. It was extremely affordable to build and very easy to maintain.
You keep the bugs out, but you get the fresh air in, you get your breezes in, the sunlight comes in, and it's dapple sunshine, and it's just beautiful.
Call Calendar now at 1-888-999-9578. First 10 customers get free carpeting with their order. 0% financing for 2 years.
Attention, this is a public notice. This month only, Atlantic Auto Mall Superstore is going to the extreme to dispose of hundreds of used vehicles during the Extreme Sell-a-thon. Get extreme savings. Payments as low as $69 a month and low financing available. Extreme deal. Pay no money down and drive today. Extreme trade allowances. We'll pay top dollar for your trade, paid for or not. Plus, if you have bad credit, we'll get it done at Atlantic Auto Mall Superstore between exits 40 and 41 on Sunrise Highway.
Trouble finding a signal? Try GS.